what I do want to talk to you about is that you guys are the future. People will tell you throughout life that there are things that will determine what you're going to be. They will tell you that the family that you're raised in, or the city that you're in, or the community is going to impact your future. I would disagree with that. People will tell you many times that your education will determine who you're going to be and what you will be. It'll open up doors for you and create new opportunities. I would say that I disagree with that. Our Department of Homeland Security interacts with all of those areas. It interacts with even the jobs that you're going to have. The one thing I want to remind all of you here today, and one of the important reasons why I think that you should recognize that you are here, is because what still makes the world move, what still will determine your success in life, is relationships, is the people that you meet, the people that you spend time with, the people that you talk to. I would encourage you to continue to stay involved, to go out there and to come to conferences like this, meet people, go shake hands. You never know when the next person that you meet may be your next mentor that will give you the greatest advice that turned your life around, that changed everything for you. The next person you meet may be the person that gives you a reference for your next internship or your first job position that you get, or maybe the scholarship that you need to get the degree that you want. Maybe you will meet somebody when you show up for an opportunity when that door is open that will be your next business partner. Don't leave this conference without recognizing that the most valuable thing that you gained here was the relationships that you built, the people that you talked to, and the people that you were with. I've got a team around me and staff with me that every single day help me do the job that I do, and I'm so proud of them. What most people don't know is that the team that I have around me, they leave me encouraging notes once in a while. They leave me little notes either on my desk. They might leave it in the vehicle when I get in the vehicle. If I check into a hotel room really late, they might leave a note on the desk in there. I want to tell you what note they left for me last night when I got here really late and checked into my hotel room. My advanced team left for me a scripture verse. The scripture verse was from Hebrews 13:6. And this is what it said. It said, "So we say with confidence that the Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me?" And I just was so overwhelmed by them, the fact that they are so kind enough to be encouragers to me and to leave me notes like that and to remind me of perspective. That in this life, that all we need is a little bit of perspective about what life is, what hard things are, what challenging things are in front of us, but also what blessings we have in front of us. That scripture verse meant the world to me because in my job, many times we're dealing with people who can be violent, with criminals. I'm standing in situations where we're surrounded by people who've been impacted by criminal activity, and we're taking action against very dangerous people. Now, I don't wake up in my days being scared. I don't spend any time worrying or being afraid because I just think that's a waste of energy. But I will tell you that scripture verses like that say, we can say with confidence that we will not be afraid, that we will stand, and that what can mere mortals do for this? You see, I would challenge each of you to live a life of significance. You could make a decision right here today that you are deciding to live a life of significance, a life that matters, a life that will impact people and make a difference for the future. And I'm here just to tell you that we need you, that we absolutely need you for the future of this country. I tell a lot of stories about my dad because my dad was a cowboy and he was tough. But I also tell people that he gave us impossible things to do. All the time, he gave us things that were just hard to do. And I think I told this story a few years ago at this conference, but I recognize some of you may be new here, so I'm going to tell it again. I'll give you one example of one of the greatest gifts that my dad ever did for us. I remember one day I was about 12 years old, and it was harvest time on the farm. We were combining corn. We had filled a semi up with corn, and he was driving it. I was in the passenger seat, and he pulled it out of the field out onto the road and started to drive it down the road. When he realized, he said, "Oh, Christy, I forgot. I've got to take a different truck home. Here, jump over here, take the wheel, make your corners wide, and I'll meet you in the yard." And he jumped out the door. So I dove across the cab, grabbed the wheel of the semi, started to drive, had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know how to shift, stop, or anything. I took the widest corners I possibly could when I had to turn, drove the 7 miles home, and I remember when I got back into the farmyard, I didn't even know how to stop the semi. So I just turned it off and let it drift to a stop. I remember the very first thought that I had at that time was, I cannot believe that I lived. And the second thought that I had was that I bet I can drive anything now. It wasn't until years later I realized what my dad was doing with everything that he gave to me and to my brothers and my sister. When he gave us impossible things to do that we never thought we would accomplish, was that he was teaching us to become problem solvers. He was teaching us to figure things out and make our way through them. And then when we did something we never dreamed we could accomplish, it was giving us the confidence to take on the next biggest thing in front of us. It was going to give us that next challenging thing, the confidence to overcome it and to go out and to do it. See, life is all about perspective. I think we're crippling our children in this country. We're crippling our children by doing everything for them. Somehow we've taught the people in this country that hard things are bad and that we should avoid them. I would tell you hard things are good. They teach us who we are. They give us confidence. We need a world filled with problem solvers, and that's exactly who you are. You see, there's people every single day that go out and risk their lives so that we can stay free. There's men in our military, women that serve in our armed forces, law enforcement officers that keep us safe, keep us free. We don't know what hard is. We have no idea what sacrifice is compared to what some people are making for us. So I would ask you to keep the days ahead, the politics, the debates, the divisiveness that's out there. Keep it in perspective. Understand that sometimes hard things can burn off the trash, and that what can come out is a shining gold, clean American freedom that the entire country can embrace again, and that you are the future that's going to continue to defend it. And you're going to defend it because you have the confidence to do it, because you've been through something hard and you've done it before. You see, I referenced before that what we were given as a country was the greatest experiment in human history. We had a group of men and women that went to war with the greatest military machine in history in the world at the time. When the Revolutionary Army went to war, they picked up their own personal guns and muskets that they used to feed their family and went to war with the greatest military in the world. And they did it for freedom. And then they gave us this country. They gave us this country that's never been matched before. It might surprise some of you in the room to know that George Washington never signed the Declaration of Independence. You see, when the Declaration of Independence was voted on by the Continental Congress and it was sent out, John Hancock sent it out to George Washington, who was out with his troops. And 5 days later, he called all of his troops together so that they could all listen to it together when they were out there and what they have just been given in this new declaration. In fact, I want to read to you what General Washington said to his troops as he sat there on his horse with his military men and women, what he said to them before the Declaration of Independence was read to them out loud. He said, "The blessings and the protection of heaven are at all times necessary, but they're especially so in times of public distress and danger. The general hopes and trusts that every officer and every man will endeavor to live and to act as become a Christian soldier, defending the dearest rights and the liberties of his country." You see, even at that time, George Washington put his faith first, and then he called people to fight. He called them to go out there and to act as Christians, to go out there and to defend our rights and our freedoms. But when you go forward and do that with morals and with values and understand that every person out there is worth something in God's eyes, but yet we can disagree with them and still protect our freedoms and liberties, that's invaluable. And the general that gave us this country and became our first president understood it better than anybody else. You see, our founders pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honors for us. We haven't been asked to do that yet. Some of you may get asked to sacrifice some of your life. Today on my phone, I was getting videos of my grandkids riding horses at my ranch, and I was getting pictures of my family spending time together. And as I was looking at some of that and enjoying it from afar with them, I was realizing that I'm giving up some sacrifices. Is it anything like some have given up? No, not at all. Not at all. There's some people that have given up their fortunes. They've given up their personal wealth. And then you've got some that gave up their sacred honor for our country. If you look at people who, like Nathan Hale, and people whose reputations and different things that over the years, and even I would say some who still fight for us today, lose their reputations because of the stand that they take for right and for wrong. What I would tell you, our founders pledged their lives, their fortunes, and sacred honor. You may be asked to do the same. But today you can make a decision. You can make a decision to live a life of significance, one that matters. In this room are not people who are going to sit on the sidelines. When you're here because you're engaged. I'm looking at the faces of our leaders, the leaders wherever you are in the circle of friends that you're in. When you have a conversation with people about politics, bring some history into it too. Help people recognize what they were given in this country and why we're so special. The last thing I want to leave you with is to be happy. I say that quite a bit at the end of my speeches, but it's amazing to me how people forget. How people forget that just because you woke up here in this country, in the United States of America, you are more blessed than 99% of the people in this world just because you woke up here and you woke up free. So with that, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for what you do. Yes, my job as the Secretary of Homeland Security is a complicated one. I've got a lot of agencies that need to be fixed, and bureaucracy that needs to be gotten rid of, and people that need to be fired, and money that needs to be given back to taxpayers, and more bad hombres to get off the street, and I'll continue to do that. We're going to continue to get these criminals and these violent perpetuators of violence off of our streets. But I will tell you, what this country needs is not more Kristi Noem. What this country needs is you. We need you. We need you out there changing the hearts and minds of Americans. The conversations that you have. Go have conversations with people. Ask them questions why they believe what they believe. Listen to them. And then tell them about the great gift that this country is.